Hey fellow comrades, how you guys been doing? Welcome back to our news Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. Today we got ourselves a match against Jordan, and this match in particular, I'm a really big fan of the ending in this one, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. Anyways, I'm lead with Gengar, expecting him to lead with either his Manectric, his well, actually anything can go at this point. You know, with the team preview and everything. You aren't really certain on what kind of lead they're gonna possess. I guess Mega Manectric is probably the best, but then again, it's only a Manectric as of right now. There are 3 possibilities of Mega Evolutions, of course being in form of Manectric, Scizor, and Garchomp. Expecting him to go for either T-Bolt, Flamethrower, or the possible Volt Switch pretty much being the worst in that case, because the Team Switch initiative such as Scizor coming in and threatening me out. I decide to switch out to Tyrantrum, and afterwards, being threatened by the Scizor, I switch out to my Gyarados that can sort of handle it one-on-one at the amount of HP I'm at, as well as lefties, and pretty much intimidate in general. This Gyarados can definitely dealt with one. Anyways, I'm just gonna go for the direct Waterfall, trying to get some damage, especially as his team doesn't really appreciate taking War on the switch. And I'm looking at this, and I'm pretty sure he's being stuck into a corner where he needs to play aggressive. He's trying to do everything in his power to try to cripple me. Unfortunately, because I'm a defensive threat, I'm gonna fail off taking this guy down with a Waterfall twice in a row. That's pretty incredible on my opponent's behalf when defenses are concerned. But he's gonna go for the poison. He did take down my lefties. He did manage to poison me as well. So Gyarados' defensive capabilities have been heavily shut down, and I'm just gonna need to try to make some work of it still. But it's gonna be definitely a much harder to make it work or not. Anyways, my next switch coming in, I'm guessing Volt Switch is gonna be coming in my way, but he does make a hard switch, which kind of gives me thinking he was probably choiced. And just bearing the fact that Excadrill can't even take Flamethrower, and he didn't want to risk failing of taking me down, because even Mega Manectric can fail taking down an Excadrill depending on the EV spread that is given to him. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyways, Rotom was the switch, but he did switch out to my champ. Afterwards, I had to switch out to my Gyarados, expecting him to go for either Dynamic Punch. Stone Edge, definitely a possibility there, but luckily he didn't go for that. And afterwards, switching back, because I did give him the Intimidate, I can sort of handle him. But he did switch out to his Espeon with the Intimidate. I know I can take Stone Edge from the likes of Machamp, even Gengar can take it, so that's pretty great. But Espeon, at the amount of HP he was at, I decided to just switch out to Excadrill. I didn't want to risk Shadow Ball failing of taking it out. I know it sounds a little bit redundant, but thinking about it, Espeon does possess some really great special defense, and if he's defensive in any way, Shadow Ball is gonna fail, and Gengar just doesn't compete when it comes down to bulk. So that's exactly what I did, and I believe it was a much better decision on my behalf, because based on the moveset he is actually exposing to me right here, as well as the Morning Sun, Reflect, you know, just the moveset is probably a more defensive one, so I would have simply failed of taking that down one shot. So Earthquake away with the Reflect support, he did switch out to my champ. That looks like it's gonna fail of taking him out, which is pretty bad. But looking at his team, he's got Scizor, he's got Garchomp, he's got Machamp, he's got Gliscor has been already taken down, but half of his team can still super effect hit me. So I decided to switch out is to my Tyrantrum again, because half of his team can super effect hit me. I just don't see much use out of it. And then afterwards switch out to my Gyarados to manage to go for the rest, as he switches out his Espeon, and that's pretty bad. But again, as long as I do have this Excadrill, I can manage to take on this Espeon. I'm highly down it's got hidden power fighting, and I do have Assault Vest on it, so I can take these moves quite easily and manage to retaliate it back. Not to mention that I'm actually stalling his screens, but he did get a special defense drop, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just gonna go for the direct Earthquake again, and Reflect is gonna wear out quite nicely there on the perfect turn, because he's gonna need to Morning Sun in order to preserve. But as the amount of HP I'm doing to him, even after being a more special defensive spread, it still looks like I'm gonna prevail this one. Now unfortunately, because the Reflect did wear off, Espeon's still gonna have the possibility to put up the Reflect, which kind of got me thinking that he's probably running a more offensive Garchomp. He doesn't want to take any damage, unnecessary damage on the switch. Plus he wants to put up the final Reflect so he can come in with his Garchomp with a Reflect support. He can threaten me out, and I do switch out to Gyarados just in case he does go for Earthquake, but he managed to make a great move. fully realized and Exorio does 4 times the Stone Edge, but he did realize I'm going to switch out to Gyarados to playing it safe, and Stone Edge does a lot of damage. Now I don't want to be taking any more Stone Edges because the Intimidate support, again, Gengar can take one. I switch out to Gengar, but he switches out to his Machamp on the same turn, goes for the Bullet Punch to break my possible Sash, but that was not the case because I'm a Choice Scarf. Little does he know that, but it doesn't really matter because he's gonna manage to trap me on the switch. I was thinking he's gonna Bullet Punch or U-turn or something like that, but he made a right move on the right time. As you can see, that actually resulted in my Gengar being taken out right there, and then one takedown is gonna make my road to come in next. Just gonna go for the Shadow Ball, expect him to either predict me to go for Overheat or the Volt Switch or the T-Bolt or something like that. Probably not Will-O-Wisp because I don't really run it, but this is gonna do. Shadow Ball getting some damage, special defense drop. Even with a special defense drop, I didn't really feel particularly comfy to stay in because I know I need to preserve it just for that Manectric of his. Unfortunately, he's gonna outspeed me, of course, being that Garchomp possesses some incredible speed. It outspeeds the base 100s as well, so that's definitely something to be a little bit frightened of. Garchomp is a threat. Still, he didn't turn, so that's pretty great. I'm not seeing any Pokemon turning on his behalf, so I'm a little bit surprised. Still, I'm switching out to Mega, not really Mega, you know, my Medicham, expecting him to switch out, doesn't want to risk too much, plus preserving for the Rotom and the likes. So that's pretty great. He does switch out. I do make a sub. I could have gone for the Bullet Punch, but again, I just don't felt like doing that, especially if this thing comes in, he can Bullet Punch after that. And managing to avoid something like that is definitely something I'm mostly planning on doing. So by making a sub, I managed to avoid his Bullet Punch direct damage, and after that retaliate with a high jump kick, take him down clean. Mega Medicham is a whole new level of power. I mean, taking down Scizor at full HP with a neutral damage is definitely speaking on its own as an example. So Outrage again, take me down. Unfortunately, Gyarados is gonna be taken down, but eventually it did some damage. It pretty much supported. Intimidate was a very important essence in this particular match, but at the amount of HP he's at with Life Orb, I was thinking I can take him down, but luckily on his behalf he manages to survive with 1 HP, ladies and gentlemen. 1 HP. He's gonna be taken down by the Life Orb. On his behalf, I'm gonna be taken down as well, so it came down to 1 versus 1, fellow electric type versus fellow electric type, Heat versus Manectric. This is gonna be great. He's gonna go for the T-Bolt. Unfortunately, even if he was Mega Manectric, in the end of the day, I'm pretty sure I could have handled him one-on-one because I do have that stab, and he does neutral. So that was the game for today, guys. Great game, Jordan. I really enjoyed that. The ending was incredible. I mean, when you have a double down, it came down to the same typing. It feels great, and that match was definitely one I enjoyed a lot. So great game, Jordan. Again, if you enjoyed this match as much as I did, be sure to give it a like. Thank you very much, guys, for continued support, and until next time, take care, peace.